They are road warriors now, 2 in a row. This one in Des Moines, Iowa. The Soul moved to 2-1. Welcome to the Soul Insider. Hello again, I'm Lou Tilley. It's the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore. We shoot it on Monday nights up at the Parks Casino in Bensalem inside Chicky and Pete's, and we hope you'll join us for our tapings on Monday nights, sometimes between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Well, the Soul now moved to 2-1 on their young season, looking forward to their home opener after their latest win on the road at Iowa.
They were on the road to Des Moines, Iowa, against the Barnstormers with football's coolest helmets. But it was the Soul taking flight on the game's first play. Dan Rodabaugh finding Tiger Jones.
Tiger Jones wide open, touchdown Soul. 33 yards on the opening play. Soul on the board at 6-0.
But then a defensive assault as they sacked Iowa's passer 3 times and forced a fumble for a 16-6 lead after 1.
And Brown has it for Philadelphia. Keith Brown, fumble recovery.
It was another sack by linebacker Brandon Perkins, this time for a safety that keyed the second quarter and a 25-22 Soul lead at the half. Then the defense caused the turning point in the third, stopping Iowa on downs inside the 3 late in the third quarter while leading by 3. The offense turned it right around, a 38-yard strike to Ryan McDaniel, which set up a Derrick Ross touchdown dive to start the fourth and give the Soul a 2-score lead that they would hold on to for their second win. Dan Rodabaugh finished 22 for 30 for 270 yards and 5 touchdown tosses.
Rodabaugh to Bracken's beautiful throw and catch, touchdown Soul.
Tiger Jones grabbed his second Player of the Game award with 8 catches for 108 yards and 3 touchdowns. The defense, Brian Robinson, the defensive Player of the Game with 1.5 sacks and a blocked kick.
Back 2,000 plus.
And Brian the kick Robinson is blocked. Here we go. Kaiser's got it.
And Joe Gooseby, the playmaker of the game. 7 tackles, 2 of them for sacks, 1 for a safety. Soul win it, 54-43.
The Soul moved to 2-1. Coming up later on this edition of the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, Ron Jaworski will join us for the better part of the half hour. But right now, the head coach of the Philadelphia Soul joins us on Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, Clint Dozel. It's been tough for you, Clint. Now that your first 3 games have been on the road, but you managed to pick up 2 in a row, including one at Iowa. Right out of the box, you open up strong. A little bit of a stumble in the second quarter.
Yeah, we threw a touchdown the first play, and defense got a quick stop for us. We got the ball back and then didn't execute very well and made a bad pick on the throw to the backside corner. So a little bit of a start there. Defense saved us, though. Interesting
weekend for you as you're inducted into the AFL Hall of Fame as part of the ceremonies in Des Moines, which is one of the starting places of the league.
Yeah, it was nice to get that actually over with. I'm not a big-time stand in front and give a speech type guy, but it went well. I was pleased with how it went, and saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. It was good.
But you're doing your own TV show. You can't be that uncomfortable with it.
Well, it's easy to do questions when they're being asked to me, but I got to get up there and they just talk. I'm not too good at that.
Must be looking forward to coming back home. We'll talk about that in a moment for your home opener. Dan Rodabaugh, another very solid game. 250 yards, 5 more touchdown tosses.
Yeah, he's only going to get better. Missed still early in the season. We've got a few new receivers he's trying to work out the kinks with, and Ross played well. I think Dan's going to only get improved each week with our new wide receivers, so I'm excited the way we're going.
Speaking of which, Ryan McDaniel had another solid game. The big, strong, tall wide receiver. He was our guest last week on the show, but he may miss the next one after suffering a little shoulder injury at Iowa.
Yeah, he's got a little bump there, probably a week or 2 injury. Just want to be safe with him. It's such a long season. We want to make sure we have everybody for the long run.
What's your backup plan, Clint? Are you deep at the wide receiver spot this year?
We've missed Alvance since week 1, so he's been eager to get back off there, and he's pretty much healed up, so we'll slide him back in the lineup this week.
How do you attribute this sudden surge of your defense? For a second week in a row, 4 stops, the defense really keyed the win, didn't they?
They did, no question. The last 2 weeks they have. They've gotten a lot of stops for us. We didn't get a lot of turnovers, but stops were just as good as turnovers, so It was a great mesh with our secondary, making them hold the ball and getting great pass pressure by our defensive line. So if we keep doing that, we'll be tough to beat.
More with Clint to come. The head coach of the Philadelphia Soul, now 2-1 on the young season, and looking forward to their home opener next Saturday night, April 20th, down at the Wells Fargo Center. Back to talk more with Clint and to talk with Soul owner Ron Jaworski, along with Dan Rodabaugh and some of the key Soul players, as the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, continues.
Soul Insider, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer, Walgreens Pharmacy at the corner of Happy and Healthy, and Stop Pain. Stop Pain, exactly what it does.
Scott, he do a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Remember this name, Lundy Law.
Bradford White Water Heaters, American made, American owned, built to be the best. Why would you buy any other brand? Visit bradfordwhite.com to find a contractor near you.
It's the Hyundai Drive Your Way Drive of the Game.
McDaniel wide open. He will get caught from behind, but it's going to be first and goal for the Soul. Rodabaugh to Thurman. Picks up a few yards. Rodabaugh, Tiger Jones. I think he got it. The give is to Ross, and he turns those strong legs, gets in, touchdown Soul. Wobbling. And the chef throws to Ross. It was a design play. Philadelphia gets the score.
And we thank Hyundai and all of our sponsors. You're watching the Soul Insider. Hello, everyone. I'm Lou Tilley. The Soul moves to 2-1 after their third consecutive road game. Next week is the home opener, Saturday night, April 20th, down at the Wells Fargo Center as they take on one of their great rivals, Cleveland. This is the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore. And joining me now, and for the first time in a couple of years on the show, Ron Jaworski, a longtime owner of the Philadelphia Soul.
Good to be back with you, Lou, talking Philadelphia Soul, 2-1. You don't even have to ask me the question.
Just go with it.
You know what the goal is.
Yeah.
A world championship, so we can start right there.
Well, we were together in New Orleans last year when you got back to the Arena Bowl, and you were nice enough to allow us access into the locker room, and we know what a disappointing loss that was for the players. And most of them back, and with only one goal in mind this year, right?
It's always been the goal. Since 1977, Philadelphia's been my home. I know the feeling of this fan base, of what their expectations are, and they don't want mediocrity, they want the world championship. We were able to bring that to Philadelphia in 2008. Last year we had a great season. We fell short in New Orleans at the Arena Bowl, but we come back highly motivated. The core of our team is still in place. We're off to a terrific start at 2-1. We've got some new players that are kind of finding their way, and we will be playing our best football at the end of the season. But we never lost sight of what our goal is. We want to be down on Broad Street again having a party.
Ron, this past week, unusual in the Arena League. Your team had 4 pure stops, caused turnovers all over the place, a safety. You had 6 sacks in the game. All of a sudden, in this wild, point-crazy league, you've got a defensive juggernaut. How'd that happen?
Yeah, and we hired a Hall of Fame coach and quarterback in Clint Dozell, and what do we have? The best defense in the Arena Football League.
We'll figure that out.
Clint is showing his versatility, which is great. But, we have the core of our defense back. We are a good pass-rushing defensive team. I don't buy that old adage, you win championships with defense. It's the Arena Football League. It's about scoring points. But it's great to know that we have a defense that can make stops, that can get safeties, that can create turnovers, that can get interceptions, because in the course of the season there's going to be times where the defense has to come to the forefront, and quite honestly our offense has been out of sync. It has been our defense that has carried us.
You've got Tiger Jones, who's so dependable. For the second week out of 3, he was the offensive player of the game for his performance out in Iowa. But there's so much more to that. Because of that, you've got to have a secondary and a third option, as you know better than anyone. Yep. And I guess, is that what you're talking about when you say the team is still developing?
No question. We have Tiger Jones back, and obviously he is one of the best receivers in the Arena Football League. In fact, he went to the last cut of the Philadelphia Eagles in training camp a year ago, so it goes to show you the type of talent that he has. And we use Larry Brackens in what we call the red zone.
Yeah.
We get around that 10, 15-yard line, we bring in big 6'4" Boogie in there,
at least,
and he can make some plays. But we're still trying to find the combination amongst those 3 wide receivers that we believe we can count on for the rest of the schedule. And Clint's been giving a lot of guys opportunities. It's going to take a little time before that cohesion starts.
Well, Ron, we all know you as one of the great analysts of the kids in college coming out to play in the pros as well as the pro quarterbacks. And I'm going to ask you about your quarterback, Dan Raudabaugh, who will be out here with us and join us with you in a few minutes. Before he gets here, though, tell the fans who haven't seen Dan at work yet what kind of quarterback you have.
Well, if you're going to win a championship, just like in the National Football League, you better have a quarterback. In the Arena Football League, you better have a quarterback. We have a championship quarterback in Dan Raudabaugh. I was so thrilled that after last season, Dan decided to come back. We gave him a long-term contract with the team. And as far as we go, it's going to be on Dan's shoulders. He's one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. He's smart. He's tough. He's studious. And although his performance isn't where we know it's going to be later in the year, he's starting to get used to these guys around him right now. One new offensive lineman, a couple new wide receivers, but Dan is the guy that we count on to take us to the championship.
With that setup, Dan Raudabaugh will join us right after this break, and you'll see him at home at the Wells Fargo Center this coming Saturday, the home opener against Cleveland. Tickets still available at that number right there on your screen. The Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, continues from Chicky and Pete's in the Parks Casino right after this.
Ticket packages are available for the next Soul home game. Call the ticket office at 888-789-SOUL or PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
Something has got these folks hopping to their local Hyundai dealer. It's the Let's Go sales event, where you can get up to $1,500 go cash on every new Sonata. It's J.D. Power and Associates' most dependable midsize car. Join the crowd at your Hyundai dealer.
Now get a 2013 Sonata for $179 a month or 0.9% APR plus $1,500 go cash. Head to your local Hyundai dealer today.
Bernie Robbins Jewelers in Radnor, Newtown, Marlton, Summers Point, and the Borgata.
Remember this name, Lundy Law.
And now, the stop pain stop of the game.
Raderick is going to scramble. Can he get in? No. The Soul defense comes up with a stop.
Welcome back to the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore. We tape it every Monday here at Chicky and Pete's Place in the new Parks Casino up in Ben Salem, and you see some of the crowd that get out here to watch the show, and we invite you to come up and meet some of your favorite Soul players every Monday, but we want you to come out Saturday night for the Soul home opener at the Wells Fargo Center, 7 o'clock against Cleveland. And welcome back to the Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore with Ron Jaworski, with the longtime Soul owner, and the second-year quarterback of the Soul, Dan Raudabaugh. You go out to Iowa, always a tough place to play. By the way, the home of the legendary story of Kurt Warner, which we all know, and the greatest looking helmets, I think, other than these.
Yeah, the Barnstormers are pretty cool.
They are
the
pretty
goggles on top are pretty
gotta
cool.
Gotta say.
Yeah.
A little bit of a shaky start again, Dan, for the offense, but the defense keeps you in track.
Yeah, defense played well all night. It starts with good coverage led by Rayshawn. He got us in a good play defensively, and then at least they're putting pressure on the quarterback. But offensively, we scored on the first play, then maybe got a little too greedy on the second play, forced the ball in there. But we caught a little stride there, and everything that's going right, we need to keep going and just tweak the little things up a little bit. So,
Dan, what is it like to play for your coach, who's an AFL Hall of Famer, inducted last week, and also have an owner sitting 10 feet away from you every game, who's an all-pro from the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's an honor to not only play for Clint, but play for a guy like Mr. Jaworski. And
you can call me Jaws. It's
big Jaws, yeah. But I mean, they're critical of the position, but they know what it's like to be out there under the gun, and you know, they're real supportive, and I'm very grateful to be in the position I am.
You know, let me interject one thing. You know, last season I had a couple NFL scouts get in touch with me, and we did a little pro workout for Dan Radab over the NovaCare Center. And he wowed them. I had one of the scouts tell me it was a better workout than Brady Quinn had when he was at Notre Dame.
Wow.
So this is a type of quality quarterback that we have in Philadelphia with the Soul. And he put on a clinical workout. I was there with him, throwing to Larry Brackens and some other wide receivers. And so it's nice to know when you come to a Soul game, this is the type of quarterback you're going to see. A guy that does have NFL talent, still doing a great job for the Soul.
When Ron sits there in the front row with Liz Jaworski and now the grandkids, the whole clan there, do you ever hear him cheering you on, Dan?
I hear him.
He said tongue-in-cheek?
Yeah. I mean, I hear him cheering me on and making sure we're doing the right thing out there, and I hear him getting on the refs and getting on the other team, and that's what you want out of your owners, and we're in a great spot with these guys leading the helm for us. So.
Dan Raudabaugh, 22 of 30, 270 yards, 5 touchdowns, a couple of picks. Got to work on that, Jaws, as you analyze your quarterback?
Well, I don't have to tell this guy anything. He can correct his own mistakes. He knows the arena football game as well as anyone. Our head coach is a Hall of Famer. It knows the quarterback position in the Arena Football League better than anyone I have ever seen, and that may include Jay Gruden, who is now the offensive coordinator with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that Dan's getting good coaching. But Dan knows when he makes a mistake. He didn't have to come to the sideline. He doesn't have to hear it from me. He can correct his own mistakes. And it's always good when a quarterback can be self-corrective and move on.
Yep. And that's the important thing. And you come back and get a 54-43 win. Dan, I know you always enjoy the chow here at Chickies and Pete's.
So
get back to that. Mr. Jaworski can chow down on some fries, but you're coming back in the last segment for us. When we come back, the key to this Soul win at Iowa, we'll take a look at the defense. The Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, continues right after this.
Ticket packages are available for the next Soul home game. Call the ticket office at 888-789-SOUL or PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
Ready for a little fun? You could scratch your way to instant winning. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, Pennsylvania Millionaires Club, with 5 top prizes of $1 million. It's kind of fun to hit the green. Keep on scratching.
Remember this name, Lundy Law.
Hi, I'm Tony Mitchell, Brinker Simpson & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We offer comprehensive financial compliance and tax services. As Philadelphia's leading tax and advisory firm, we let our clients say it best.
Tony and his team at Brinker Simpson provided the expertise of a large accounting firm, but didn't forget their small business roots.
Brinker Simpson has a clear business vision that looks beyond spreadsheets and numbers and sees opportunities.
At Brinker Simpson, firm relationships build success.
Scott, he do a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pete's as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Here's the Colonial Marble rock-solid player of the game.
That's 20 sacks tied for third in school history. And pressure coming again, Barno. And then coming up, Joe Gooseby comes up and gets the sack. So great defense from Philadelphia, and it brings up 4th and long. Ratterick is going to scramble. Can he get in? No. The Soul defense comes up with a stop. Raderick takes a big hit. It's Gooseby again. Gooseby, he goes down.
Colonial Marble, we thank them as well as our host sponsor, Foods Galore. This is the Soul Insider. I'm Lou Tilley. We're at the Parks Casino with the Chicky and Pete's here. Come on out, share a meal with us on Monday nights when we tape. Hey, speaking of defensive stop of the game, it's Brian Robinson, the big defensive end, who's coming off an all-AFL year and trying to build on that. Defensive player of the game. You got a sack this week.
That's right. It was big, man. It felt good. You know, the first one's always hard, but it was good to get it out the way.
And your second blocked kick of the season, something you did a bunch. You broke a record last year doing it.
Yeah, something I pride myself on a little bit. Takes extra effort to do it on that play, so something I pride myself on.
Now, Brian, for those that don't know, you grew up kind of in this area, right?
Yeah, a little south in Delaware. So, yeah, I grew up here.
Played college ball down there?
College ball, born and raised, and good to be home.
Hey, the last 2 wins on the road. You've been on the road for the first 3 weeks. You've won 2 in a row now after losing to Arizona. It's really been the defense getting it done, right?
Yeah, well, it's good that you say that in an offensive-minded game. You know, we've really been getting it done. And just 7 stops, I think, last week we were talking earlier. And then the way we played 2 weeks ago, it's just shutout, man, and that's how we're feeling on defense. We're feeling really confident, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Well, the core of your defense is kind of back. Dustin Barno on the nose, you at one defensive end, your 2 linebackers, Gooseby and Perkins. You got Rayshawn back there, so Larico also.
Yeah, it's good to have players that you've been with. You already mesh that much, and so the other 2 guys, Romaine and Brown, are able to kind of catch the feel of how we play, and they've been coming along great these last 2 weeks.
All right, now the home opener Saturday night, the 20th against Cleveland. Tickets available. It's Faith and Family Night. We're expecting a big crowd. Cleveland, this has been a rough rival. It's been a nasty rivalry between you 2 teams over the last couple of years.
Yes, it has. They just got some attitude with them, man, or something, man. They don't like us. We don't favor them too much, and it's always been just a hard-hitting, in your face, talk all day type of game, man. Yeah. That's what it is.
I hate to say it, but sometimes it looks like a hockey game when you play Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because the fights have broken out. A couple of years ago, there was a fight before the game in Cleveland.
Yeah. Last year it was a fight before the game, and it just kind of carried out throughout the game, and the refs, it felt like, could really never get a hold of it. It's out of control sometimes. So.
Brian Robinson and the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore, will continue right after this.
Ticket packages are available for the next Soul home game. Call the ticket office at 888-789-SOUL or PhiladelphiaSoul.com.
Colonial Marble and Granite. Quality, selection, service, and price. We're the nation's leading fabricator. We buy direct, saving you money. Offering thousands of choices and hundreds of colors. All on site in our one-of-a-kind indoor slab yard. Colonial Marble and Granite. The original home of the $19.99 special. Get your new granite countertop for just $19.99. Fully installed. Stop by our King of Prussia Super Showroom and see how easy, affordable, and beautiful your countertops can be. Visit us online at colonialmarble.net.
All right, people, on your feet. Check out the Elantra at your local Hyundai dealer. During the Let's Go sales event, get up to $1,500 Go Cash on any new Elantra. ALG's highest residual value award winner 3 years in a row. Get a move on to your Hyundai dealer.
Now get a 2013 Elantra for $139 a month or 2.9% APR plus $1,500 Go Cash. Head to your local Hyundai dealer today.
Bradford White Water Heaters. American made, American owned. Built to be the best. Why would you buy any other brand? Visit BradfordWhite.com to find a contractor near you.
Remember this name, Lundy Law.
Soul Injury Report brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY Law. Remember this name. Here's a look at this weekend's game. The Injury Report brought to you by 1-800-LUNDY Law. Remember this name.
And you'll hear Leonard's voice again this coming Saturday night when the Soul come home for their home opener, April 20th against Cleveland. Welcome back to the Soul Insider, rejoined by Ron Jaworski and a special guest, Mike DeFlorio from the South Jersey Elite Youth Football. They have partnered now, right, with you, Ron, in a long-term partnership. Can you tell us more about this nice story?
Lou, we're very excited with this relationship. And the one thing Mike and I share is a great passion for football. Obviously, I cover it at the National Football League level, the Arena Football League level. Mike works with the young people of our country. And obviously, participation has lacked in football. But this partnership is going to make people aware of the great work that Mike and his staff are doing, growing the game of football at the youth level, partnership with the soul, virtual health care, concussion testing, all the things that are now so important, we're going to work together on.
How many kids you have underneath your directorship in South Jersey?
5,000 children.
5,000?
5,000 children, yes.
Playing football and?
Cheerleading.
And cheerleaders.
Cheerleading is another sport, and we take that very seriously as well, cheerleading.
Did you play youth football, Ron, coming up?
I didn't play organized football until I was a freshman in high school. It wasn't very complex and sophisticated when I was in my youth. That was a while back, Lou, so I was more of a sandlot player.
Yeah.
Go to the fire hydrant and turn on the outside.
Absolutely.
You start them as young as 5 years old.
5 years old, yes. 5 years old, yes.
And what are you teaching them at that age, Mike?
5 years old, we have a very unique coaching staff with our 5-year-olds. They teach the basics. Just running, tackling, blocking, having fun, enjoying the sport, making sure they come back out the next week and the week after that and the week after that, and build a relationship with the kids.
Make them like the game.
Yeah, make them love the game, and that's important. Love the game, and before you know it, they're 15 years old, moving on to high school.
And this is sort of the Soul's mission in a nutshell, isn't it, Ron? To develop the game and be a part of the actual fabric of the community.
No question. I think it's probably the reverse of that. Be part of the community, which is what this relationship is about through the game of football. And the South Jersey Elite Youth Football League does a great job. I know many of the parents that have had kids in this league, and they do it right. They teach players the right way to line up, to tackle, to execute. And all too often at the youth level, it's about winning. Hey, we got to win. If somebody wants to emulate Vince Lombardi or Tom Landry and one of those great coaches of all time, but it's not about winning. It's about teaching. It's about camaraderie. It's about teamwork, and that's what their league does. And Mike's to be applauded for what he does.
And Mike, what are you looking forward to working with Ron and the Soul ownership and the players and such?
Well, the Soul brand name, the help, the guidance, the education with using professional football program to help us with concussions, help us with training to identify the concussions, and things just in general to help us become better mentors in youth football and cheerleading.
Mike DeFlorio from the South Jersey Elite Youth Football League entering into a partnership with the Philadelphia Soul. We'll see you out at the game,
Absolutely,
I assume?
the 20th, yep.
And we hope to see you all throughout the home season, beginning Saturday night, the 20th, Faith and Family Night, down at the Wells Fargo Center. For all of us here at the Parks Casino and Chicky and Pete's, this has been the Soul Insider, brought to you by Foods Galore. We'll see you next week.
Soul Insider, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer, Walgreens Pharmacy at the corner of Happy and Healthy, and Stop Pain. Stop Pain, exactly what it does.